Hello, everyone. Today we'll talk about Chapter 6, the construction services during the design. We are at this point where we talked about the construction service during all the construction phases and the contractor responsibilities throughout the project. Now it's imperative to understand the construction during the design phase. It is also our responsibilities here to promote, um, to utilize our service as a constructor during the design phase to help out establishing good design. Um, so during this chapter, we'll go over the details on why it's important and imperative for owners and architects and trades actually to understand our responsibilities on how important to get us engaged during the design service. So with that, I would like to start with kind of a statement for the chapter, and I would like to read it with you here. A constructor role during design can range from all over the fence approach where the designer works independent of the eventual builder who builds the design that is toasted over the fence to him or her, to a fully collaborative approach with active consultation between the designer and builder throughout the design. And here, when we refer to the traditional methods, we always refer to the design bid build, where it used to be owner with an architect get together and build a project on paper from thoughts and ideas, and then it just they throw it to the constructor to build it. Well, the how how can you build something that you never been involved in the first place, to collaborate and share ideas and to determine actually if the project is buildable in the first place. So going from this idea here, let's go over some introduction about some of the information that I would like to share with you. Some of these information are common to you and some of them are not. But with that, just to establish a base for the topic. So how do you determine a good design? To determine a good design is, is a result of a collaboration from all the parties that involved in the project, because they all have to share their point of view and experience and expertise to come up with a good design. Yes, a design team has a lead design who ultimately makes decisions, but still, this design lead needs help, and this help is represented by a consultation by the parties, and it's our job to share that with them. So again, the traditional method is where you can where designers, whether it's vertical construction or horizontal construction, design the project and send it to bid. But as projects became more complex and fast tracking became more common, constructability became imperative in the whole process, as well as the value engineering and so many other aspects. And therefore, the GC became an important element in the design process. So when we say the design phase, we talk about the pre-construction service or pre-con. And during the pre-con, the role of the GC could be either something simple like a scheduling or estimating service, or it could be integral. It could be choosing the delivery method and choosing means and methods and altering designs and so forth. So that depends, dependent on the type of the project and people are involved. So then if the service sought out from the GC was estimating and scheduling, then it might be so. the GC can provide this service and move on. But if it was integral, then the constructor duties here could be examining the means and methods and recommending approaches to the project, and then research alternative for various materials in terms of value engineering, and offer more options. So design could be altered accordingly. And then details and reviews of constructability, because you want to make sure that is not just buildable on paper, it's actually in reality, and you need the people who are going to perform the job being there. And then one of the most important thing, in my opinion, as a GC role during the pre-con, is actually putting the work packages together. See, the thing is, to be able to attract specialties and subcontractor to bid your project, you're gonna have to make the project attractive to them. And the way you do that is through the GC experience is to compartmentalize the project into work packages, because you don't want to put a scope of work that is irrelevant in the same work package, which make it less attractive to subs to bid in, because it's not in their scope of work, and it doesn't make sense to have, for instance, a wall built out and electrical wiring or plumbing within the wall being put in the work package, because your gypsum board contractor is not going to install these wirings and conduits for you. So, and the same example goes for more complicated packages. This is very simple one. So it goes from there actually. So you need an expert professional who can actually divide the work into packages. And then pre-qualifying bidders, you want to understand how those builders going to build your project and see if they have the capabilities or not. Well, how you do that? You need somebody who have worked with them, who has been in the field and can analyze and make decisions. And planning and construction logistics are also important, and they want to make sense to you. This actually goes for big and complicated projects, and having a GC during the design phase could help a lot. So in this slide here, I was going to talk about the influence of the design during the pre-con and the alteration and changes that are very important to take place during the first phase of the project, not to wait. So let me jump into this slide actually. Here we have the vertical line represents the budget, and the horizontal line here in the bottom represents, let me grab my laser, here represents the time frame. So as you can see here, the influence of the design during the early phase of the project, it's great, and can be very feasible, and it can help the owner in making decision early in the design phase. But as the design as the process move forward in the construction process, the design here has less influence as it goes toward the construction phase. And the other side, the cost here is very minimal at the early stage of the project, but if you wait to make changes, then the cost will go higher and higher as it goes toward the construction phase. So yes, it may cost the owner some money to make changes during the early stage of the project, but the turnout and the impact is very high, and very feasible for the owner to do so. Let me stop here due to the time constraint, and I'll continue later.